I'm John Jungwirth.
Jungwirth. This is one of the biggest roadless areas in the state of Michigan. We're 16 miles from the highway. In the summer we can drive almost all the way to our house. We still have to walk a footpath across the river. In the winter we park about 1.5 miles away and we ski back and forth to the car. It's a really high snowfall area. We typically get anything up to 6 feet of snow on the ground.
It's like we live right where our resources are. We have all the timber and lumber all around us, and the food and the fur and this is our supermarket and our hardware store and everything.
We moved here in 1988.
Yeah.
We had to find the clearing, we had to make trails, we had to build a bridge. We also had 2 very small children.
Yeah.
The boys, I think.
We didn't even have a
3 and
chainsaw
4.
back in those days. We
didn't own a chainsaw.
It only cost about $2-3 grand for the whole project.
If we'd known what we were getting into, maybe we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, more than half of the food comes from right here. And then well, for me, I'm really into hunting and fishing. You know, I like to eat meat, so I'm always bringing home critters of ducks, geese, grouse, beavers, muskrats, bunnies, deer. Don't really hunt bears. Victoria's bear clan, so she doesn't like that idea.
We gather a lot of stuff, like we pick a lot of berries, we pick a lot of mushrooms.
But there's certain kind of acorns that are really nice. You know, it's really nice to add to your pancakes. Nice.
We trade, we have farming friends, and so we trade for a lot of stuff because we make maple syrup. So,
yeah.
You know, in the last few years we've always traded for a winter's supply of root vegetables. And you know, some of those people are hunters.
Some are vegans.
Some of those people are farmers. Some of those people like to canoe. So there's different overlapping interests and occupations. Maybe people will come out here because we're in a good blueberry area and we'll host
blueberry camp.
We'll host sort of blueberry camp, and we'll spend a few days picking blueberries all together, and people watching the kids, and you know, sharing food, but with a common goal. We really like doing things.
Yeah, house raisings or work parties too.
Yeah.
And
maybe
then
somebody's putting in a garden and needs some help.
It's just like the old Amish movies or something you might see. I mean, we literally, that does happen exactly like that sometimes. Except there'll be a barrel of beer as well. That's true. Yeah, so I always tell everybody that pick yourself a holiday and do it year after year, and then you can own it. And everyone will just know that we go over there. You don't need invitations and everything. When we just own the 4th of July on that day, whatever day of the week it is, everybody knows to just come here. And if you don't know to just come here, you're probably not deep enough into the tribe.
You don't know us well enough
to know that, yeah. So
we don't invite anyone.
No, because we invite everyone. Yeah.
And in fact, if we didn't have it, I think people would just come
Show
anyway.
up anyway, yeah.
And get on without us. And there are other people that host.
Justin does the winter solstice.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, our band plays that.
Yes. And then other than that, I have a business. I make herbal medicines, which I do here at home. I started after I had my first baby. I was looking for something to treat diaper rash. I didn't like any of the things that were available in the pharmacies, and so I thought, oh, I should probably just make something. Other mothers that I knew were like, oh, can you make me some too? And before I knew it, I was making stuff, and I thought, well, you know, I could probably sell this. And so gradually a little home biz grew up out of that. It's mostly wild-crafted medicinal plants that I can get locally. I'm just gathering stuff, you know, within 1 mile of my house. So this time of year is busy because I have to make everything in the summer. And then I sell in the winter.
Okay, well, we're interested mostly in the canoes that were built in this area back in prehistorical times. So that would be the old-time vehicle before there was any roads or trails. They really didn't do too much foot traffic around here. It was all done by water. So you'd have your basic little workboat. This would be an Eastern Lake Superior Ojibwe, which is denoted by the shape of the ends, because that's your calling card. When you see the outline of the end of the boat on the horizon, you know exactly what group of Indians or group of people that would be, whether or not you put the kettle on or you get the shotgun out. You know, that's what that's telling you. And so we like that design because it works really good in this environment. And to build that, it takes about 500 hours to both of us together. So we reckon that's like 6 weeks. 2 weeks takes us to find the materials, the bark. And then you spend the next 2 weeks taking all those raw materials and sitting around the camp here and processing them. I'll be carving the wood into the rough rib shapes and the planking, the gunnels and stuff like that. And then the last 2 weeks we'll take all those parts and assemble them all together. It's not a straight line in it, it's all done by eye.
And the
it's-
method hasn't changed.
It's
You
very
can't really improve.
prehistoric, yeah. And at that time too, I was also bumping into some of what would have been the beginning of the drum circle scene up here in the Midwest, and I got into that. And not having any money, I went and started building my own drums to play that, and eventually get together with other friends, and it soon became way more involved than just a drum circle thing. I mean, we're actually a sort of play-out band, but it's more of a social club.
But it was partly that I mean, that's what really sparked your interest, wasn't it? It was that not only could you build your own instruments, but you could play at home without any power.
Big sound.
So it was a big sound
Yeah,
with
we
no
don't need any
electricity.
amplification.